Hello there you guys, welcome to one of my videos. Manchester United and Ralph Rangnick have a big transfer decision to make on Paul Pogba. Now Man United are not negotiating Paul Pogba transfer next month. That's according to the Manchester Evening News. Manchester United expect Paul Pogba to stay in January despite him nearing the end of his contract. Pogba's contract at Manchester United expires in the summer. Revert back to the start of the season, Pogba rejected a new Man United contract offer. Earlier on in the season, Ralph Rangnick said he won't try to convince Paul Pogba to stay at Manchester United if he wants to go. Pogba is very close to returning for Man United. That's good news from a Manchester United perspective. Pogba's been out with a muscle injury for a while. He got the injury in France training earlier on in the season. But he has been a big miss because towards the start of the season, Pogba was in scintillating form. He's provided 7 assists so far in the Premier League this season. In the last couple of months of last season, Pogba produced very good performances. At one point last season, Pogba had injury for a while and he has sustained some ankle injuries at Man United. He has had a long-running transfer saga. He's been relentlessly linked with Real Madrid. His former club Juventus have been in for him. Pogba did enjoy 4 good years with Juventus before he rejoined Man United. PSG have been in for him. Barcelona have been in for him and Inter Milan have been in for him before. Manchester United paid £89 million for Pogba, so he is our most expensive signing at the moment. This season is his 6th season at Man United since he rejoined and he's won 3 trophies at the club so far. We did have him when he was a lot younger under the Ferguson era but had to let him go due to limited appearances. Manchester United have got very, very good players. Look who we've got in the team. We've got the best player in the world overall in Cristiano Ronaldo. Ronaldo recently returned to training, but not so long ago it said Ronaldo was missing from training. Ronaldo has rescued Manchester United quite a few times this season. Ronaldo scored the winning goal from the penalty in the 1-0 win against Norwich. Ronaldo now has 13 goals in all competitions since he re-signed, and he's got 802 goals in his career. Ronaldo has won over 30 trophies in his playing career, including 5 Ballon d'Ors. Revert back to October, Ronaldo got named Player of the Month, and back in September he got named Premier League Player of the Month, so that's back-to-back awards since he re-signed. Ronaldo's got a contract with Man United until 2023. There's an option of a further year. He probably won't see out his contract. Ronaldo receives around £480,000 a week, so he's the highest earner at Man United at the moment. He wears a number 7 shirt, and Man United got Ronaldo for £19.8 million with add-ons included. Man United have also got Mason Greenwood. That's a talented player. To Mason Greenwood's credit, I think he's done really well since he recovered from COVID. Greenwood scored in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys. It was a very good volley. Greenwood also came off the bench against Crystal Palace and got the assist for the Fred goal. At one point though, Greenwood went a while without scoring, if you do remember. Greenwood scored a stunning goal in the 4-2 defeat to Leicester earlier on in the season. Greenwood said not so long ago that he's upset that Cristiano Ronaldo always starts. Back in 2019, Manchester United offered Mason Greenwood a life-changing amount of money for him to leave. Greenwood made his senior debut for Man United back in 2019. He's been a United player since the age of 7, so he's been part of the club for a long time, and last season he signed a new 4-year contract. Jaden Sancho, he's a decent player as well. He's done nowhere near as well at Man United as a lot of Man United fans expected, but it does take some players time to settle in. Sancho looks a far superior player to as he did under Solskjaer, because revert back to when we had Solskjaer persistently played Sancho out of position, and there was quite a few games Sancho didn't even play in under Solskjaer. Sancho was poor against Norwich on the 11th of December. He was good against Crystal Palace in the first half, but he faded away in the second half. Sancho was very good in the games against Villarreal away and Chelsea away, because he scored in both of them games. He's only scored 2 goals for the club so far. Manchester United got Sancho in a deal worth 78 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 73 million up front. He's got a contract with Man United until June 2026. There's an option of a further year. Sancho did endure 4 good years at Borussia Dortmund before he signed for Man United. So I'm just hoping that at Man United Sancho can replicate what he did in his 4 years at Borussia Dortmund. Anthony Elanga, he looks a good asset for the first team squad. Hasn't really played much though in the first team. Elanga started the 1-1 draw against Young Boys earlier on this month. And he also came on in the 1-0 win against Crystal Palace. Bruno Fernandez, he's also a very good player as well. He's one of our best players, and he's certainly one of the best signings we've made since Ferguson retired. But you know what? Fernandez has been very poor in a lot of games this season, and I am shocked in that aspect, because last season Bruno Fernandez was exceptional. But let me put into the equation that Fernandez starts the vast majority of Manchester United's games, so reflecting on that, he will become fatigued. I think Rangnick needs to consider giving him a rest. The last goal I think Fernandez scored was the 3-2 win against Arsenal, and the last assist he provided in the league was the 3-0 win against Tottenham. Fernandez has won quite a few awards at Man United, reflecting on his good performances. He's been a Manchester United player for almost 2 years now. Man United got Fernandez from Sporting Lisbon back in January 2020. He's under contract to Man United till 2025. There's an option of a further year. Earlier on in the season, there was talks about him extending his contract. Marcus Rashford is a decent player. But Rashford, I've got to say, has been very, very poor since he come back from that shoulder problem. He hasn't been the same player, has he? Rashford missed the first 2 months of the season with that shoulder problem. Rangnick needs to drop Marcus Rashford. We need to play Greenwood ahead of him. Reports from Spain said the other week that Marcus Rashford could leave Manchester United. as Barcelona and PSG are interested. Rashford's got a year and a half left on his current contract. Rashford's been part of the club for a long time though. He's been a United player since the age of 7. And he's been in our senior squad since 2016. Edison Cavani, he's also a good player as well. He has definitely made an impact at Manchester United. Cavani will be leaving Manchester United next year. If he doesn't leave in January, he will leave in the summer. Now, it said not so long ago that Cavani has agreed to join Barcelona on an 18-month contract. Obviously, Barcelona are seeing Cavani as a replacement for Aguero because Aguero recently retired due to heart problems. Man United are actually reluctant to let Cavani leave on a free transfer in January. Juventus have also been in for Cavani, and the other week Cavani rejected a move to Boca Juniors. By the way, Cavani is now back from injury, so he'll be in contention to play against Newcastle on Monday. Cavani's had 2 injuries this season. Man United got Cavani on a free transfer from PSG in the summer of 2020. He's got a good pedigree behind him, Cavani, because he won a lot of silverware at PSG and he was also a long-serving player when he was at PSG. Juan Mata, I think he's had a good career at Manchester United. Mata has made over 200 appearances in all competitions and he's scored over 50 goals. And Mata's been a long-serving player at Man United. He's been with Man United for 8 years. Manchester United got Mata from Chelsea back in 2014 for around 40 million. Brought him in under the David Moyes era. Mata doesn't really get in our team now. Lost his place in the team a long time ago. Juan Mata has been out with illness. Donnie Van Der Beek, he's also a very good player as well. But Donnie Van Der Beek doesn't get enough starts. Revert back to when Man United had Solskjaer, Van Der Beek got nowhere near enough opportunities, and reflecting on that he was very frustrated. Towards the end of Solskjaer's managerial tenure, Van Der Beek confirmed that he wants to leave Manchester United in January. Van Der Beek will not be allowed to leave Man United in January as Van Der Beek is valued by Ralph Rangnick. He's only scored 2 goals for the club as Van Der Beek and he's been a Manchester United player for over a year and a half. This season has been his second full season at Man United. Man United got him for 40 million. If you include the add-ons, he's got a contract with Man United until 2025. There's an option of a further year and he's versatile. He can play in 3 different roles. Like say Paul Pogba, he's also a good player as well. Not only a good player, is an imperative player. Fred, I wouldn't say he's a great player overall, but certainly in recent weeks he's been very, very impressive and I hope he can persist with these good performances. Fred played very well in our last game against Norwich. He was probably the best outfield player. Fred played very well in the game against Palace earlier on the season because he scored a stunning goal late on. Wasn't only the goal against Palace why he was good, his overall performance was very good. He made an impact against Arsenal because he got an assist in that game and he won the penalty. And he played very well in the 1-1 draw at Stamford Bridge against Chelsea. I have heavily criticised Fred before. Man United got Fred for 50 million from Shakhtar Donetsk a few years ago now. Alex Telles, He's also a good left back as well. You know, Tellez is our second choice left back. You know, he only really seems to play when Luke Shaw's not available. Tellez has played a lot of games in recent weeks. Obviously, Luke Shaw did have that concussion. He was out with that concussion for quite a while, wasn't he? He missed like 4 games in a row in all competitions, did Luke Shaw. But Tellez played against Norwich. I don't think he was that good against Norwich. He did have a good chance in the game from the free kick at the crossbar. I thought Tellez was far superior in the games against Crystal Palace, Arsenal and Chelsea than he was against Norwich. Tellez could leave Man United next year. Earlier on this season, Tellez had an injury. Manchester United got Tellez for around 15.4 million with add-ons included from Porto last year. The reason we brought him in though was to provide competition for Luke Shaw. Luke Shaw, he's a very, very good left back overall. But Luke Shaw has been very poor this season, and I'm shocked in that aspect because last season Luke Shaw was superb. Luke Shaw did play in the 1-1 draw against Young Boys, and he was actually good in that game. You know, he got the assist for the Greenwood goal, and he got forward well, he got in some good positions, but that was the best game he enjoyed for a while. Luke Shaw has had a couple of injuries this season, and he's injury prone, which is a concern. I'm sure under Rangnick, you know, Shaw will regain his form. Shaw's been at Manchester United for 8 years now, so he's been a long-serving player. He's got under 2 years left on his contract. Obviously, he's our first choice left back. Harry Maguire, he's a good centre-half when he wants to be, but hasn't really proven how good he can be at Manchester United. He's endured a lot of poor games. There again, he's had some good games, but he's had a lot more bad games. Maguire, of course, played against Norwich. He was pretty poor in that game. He was struggling to get the ball out from the back and that. He did have a good-headed chance in the game from the edge of the box, produced a good save from Tim Krul. Maguire did well in the game against Palace earlier on in the season, but that was the best game he endured for a long time. Maguire has been very, very poor since he come back from that calf injury. He had that calf injury earlier on in the season. Towards the end of last season, Maguire had ligament damage in his ankle. Manchester United overpaid for Maguire, got him in a deal worth 80 million. So he's the most expensive centre-half in the world at the moment and the second most expensive signing at the club. Eric Bailly, he's also a very good centre-half as well. Bailly, though, doesn't get in the team much. Bailly lost his place in the team a while ago with the club signing Varan last summer. And obviously Lindelof's preferred to Bailly. In all the games though Bailly's played in this season, he's done well apart from the game against Man City when we lost 2-0. Bailly is injury prone, which is definitely a concern. Towards the end of last season, Bailly signed a new contract with Man United until 2024. There's an option of a further year. Manchester United got Bailly from Villarreal back in 2016 for £30 million. Rafael Varan, he's also a very good centre-half as well. Varan is now back. He's expected to play against Newcastle on Monday. You know, when Varan plays, he makes a huge difference. Varan was out with a hamstring injury for a while, wasn't he? Earlier on this season, he had a groin injury, and he was out with that groin injury for a few weeks. Varan's endured 2 injuries since he signed for the club. You know, Man United got Varan in a deal worth 41 million with add-ons included. Man United paid around 34 million, disregarding the add-ons. Varan's got a contract with the club until 2025. There's an option of a further year. Varan is regarded as one of the best centre-halves in the world. He's highly experienced and he's got a good pedigree behind him. Look at the amount of silverware he won when he was at Real Madrid. And he was also a long-serving player when he was at Real Madrid. Aaron Wan-Bissaka, I think he's a good right-back defensively, but the attacking side of his game is not so good. There's aspects of Bissaka's game that's got to improve. He's got to show more attacking intent. His position has to improve and his crossing also has to improve. This season is Wan-Bissaka's third full season at Man United. Man United got Bissaka for 50 million from Crystal Palace back in the summer of 2019. By the way, Bissaka recently got banned from driving for 6 months and he got fined £31,500. Bissaka's endured a couple of injuries this season, by the way. Diego Dalot, he's good when he wants to be. Obviously, played a few games in recent weeks, obviously because Bissaka's not been available. Dalot played against Norwich. I don't think he was that good against Norwich. I thought he was far better in the games against Crystal Palace and Arsenal than he was against Norwich. Dalot's our backup right back to Bissaka. Last season, Dalot had a loan spell with AC Milan, and reflecting on that, he gained some experience. Man United got Dalot from Porto for £19 million, and he's got a contract with Man United till 2023. I have been hearing that Dalot is staying at Man United in January. There's been a few clubs in for him. David De Gea, he's a very, very good goalkeeper. He deserves credit because he's done really well this season. De Gea is now back to his best. De Gea got man of the match in our last game against Norwich. He made some very good saves in that game to deny Timu Pukki, and he denied Kabak twice from 2 headed chances. And I think also Dean Henderson is a good goalkeeper as well. But Dean Henderson doesn't get in goal much because last summer De Gea reclaimed the number 1 spot back. Henderson has only made 2 appearances this season. Earlier on in the season, Henderson had COVID. Towards the end of last season, Henderson got that number 1 jersey and he did well in a lot of the games he was in goal for last season. Henderson has got that experience behind him because he endured 2 successful loans with Sheffield. Before he's had loan spells with Stockport, Grimsby and Shrewsbury. And before the start of last season, Henderson committed his future to the club as he did sign a 5-year contract with an option of a 6th year. Was it last week Fabrizio Romano confirmed that Dean Henderson wants to leave Manchester United in January to get more game time. So there you go. So yeah, Man United have got very, very good players. You know the news on the transfers. Obviously, you know the news on Boubacar Kamara. Boubacar Kamara's contract talks with Marseille have stalled. His current contract at Marseille expires in the summer. He said not so long ago that Man United agreed terms on a $10 million deal to sign Boubacar Kamara. And it did say that Kamara would be announced in the coming days, and Kamara is set to become the first signing of the Ralph Rangnick era. Boubacar Kamara is predominantly a defensive midfielder, but he can also be deployed as a centre-half. He's 22 years of age, is Kamara, so he's still young. He's got a lot of development in him. He is at Marseille. He's been at Marseille all his life. He joined Marseille as a 5-year-old back in 2005, so obviously risen up their academy, been in Marseille's senior squad since 2016, and he's gone on to make over 100 appearances. Man United are also in for Julian Alvarez from River Plate. Julian Alvarez has a £17 million release clause and his contract expires at River Plate next year. He's been at River Plate for a very long time. Rangnick obviously wants Amadou Haidara as a replacement for Matic. Earlier on in the season, Rangnick said that he wants Amadou Haidara as his first signing as Man United manager. Obviously, Rangnick knows Haidara well, because Rangnick used to manage RB Leipzig. The other week, Amadou Haidara did admit that he's a Manchester United fan and also a Cristiano Ronaldo fan. Yeah.
Yeah, we're having curry tonight, you're having a pizza.
Alright.
Just got one from it.
Amadou Haidara has a £33 million release clause.
I just thought to Junior a couple of presents for the birthday on Monday.
Alright. Sorry about that, I was just talking. You know the news on Erling Haaland. It said the other day that Ralf Rangnick wants Erling Haaland, and Rangnick recently spoke with Erling Haaland's father, Alf Hinge Haaland. Bild said the other week that Man United are currently only the serious bidder for Erling Haaland, but will have to qualify for the Champions League to get him. Man City are ready to trigger his release clause, I've been hearing. Haaland has a £64 million release clause but doesn't become active until the summer. A lot of other players as well Man United want. Rangnick has been given £75 million to spend in January. Well, initially it said he'd been given a £100 million transfer budget. The Athletic said yesterday that Rangnick has identified a tall midfielder as a top priority for Manchester United to essentially replace Matic, and obviously Rangnick admires Declan Rice and Jude Bellingham. But in January, Rangnick will focus more on the outgoings than the incomings, because Fabrizio Romano's already said that Man United's main focus on new signings is in the summer, not January. Rangnick has enjoyed a good start to his managerial career at Man United. You know, so far unbeaten, reflecting on the win against Norwich. That was back-to-back wins in the league for Rangnick. You know, if Rangnick does well as the interim manager, there is a chance he'll get the Man United job on a permanent basis. You know, Rangnick's Man United's interim manager until the end of the season. Then it did mention after that he will continue in a consultancy role for a further 2 years. But recently Rangnick was warned that he could lose the consultancy role if he fails to get Man United in the Champions League. obviously before Man United, Rangnick was the head of sports and development at Lokomotiv Moscow. Rangnick's brought 3 additions in, by the way. Obviously, the other day, Man United confirmed the appointment of Ewan Sharp as an assistant coach and analyst. And obviously, earlier on in the season, Rangnick recommended Chris Armas in as an assistant. And he also brought Saz Chalens in as a sports psychologist. And by the way, Old Trafford is set for a revamp. Man United are going to increase the capacity to 80,000. I think there's going to be other parts of the ground that's going to be upgraded, I heard. In the summer, Manchester United will get a permanent manager. I can assure that. Manchester United do play Newcastle on Monday. Man United are looking to make it 4 wins in a row in the Premier League. The game against Newcastle will be going ahead because Man United's players recently returned to training. More or less everybody's back, Rangnick confirmed. Man United have had the last 2 games postponed because of COVID. You know, Man United had the games against Brentford and Brighton postponed. A lot of other games have been postponed as well. You know, the last game Man United played was Norwich on the 11th of December. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you with. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel if you do. Consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.